Hi, I'm Ann Campbell, reference librarian at Yonkers Riverfront Library. This class is Intermediate Excel or Excel 2. If you took the beginning Excel class, you would have been introduced to the basic layout of an Excel worksheet, learned how to add columns of numbers together, cut and paste, and turn your worksheet into a chart. In this class, we will start where we had left off in the introductory Excel class. We will call up a simple worksheet and turn it into a chart, then look at some chart functions. Then we'll go back to the worksheet and go over more functions found in the ribbon bar that are of a more complex nature. So let's share the screen. Okay, minimize that. Minimize, let's go right here. Okay, so this is cumberland.lib.nc.libguides.com/Excel. If you need to pause the screen for a moment to call it up, you'll do that, okay? And be careful how you type it. If you type it slightly off, this page does not come up. And also, I think Internet Explorer doesn't like to come up too well, okay? So we're going to click on Intermediate Excel Budget. Okay. Open it up. Enable editing. File, save as. Save it on your desktop. You can put your initials or what have you, or just 6-month budget. Now, here's a trick. If it came up and you didn't notice it, it might have been hiding. It might have been hiding right here underneath your internet screen, okay? So just minimize out of everything, and then you would see it, okay? So here we go. So let's go over a couple of things. Let's just throw the word total over here. It turned to green because it decided the whole row is going to be green. Okay. Now let's wipe out these totals. Hit delete. Over here, you do the auto sum. Enter. Here, auto sum. Enter. Remember the fill handle. Go like that. Fill handle over here. All things being equal. See? Now, just want to show you something. Autofill also works with words. Watch this. And watch this one. See the direction. Okay, I just had to show you that. All right. Okay, so I showed you how to do totals again. Now remember about merge and center? If you click in 6-month budget, see how this is highlighted up here? We're still at the home tab. If you click on it again, it goes away. Let's click somewhere else. We want this to fill this whole area because we now have totals in H. Merge and center, there you go. Okay, so let's put this into a chart. You highlight everything, not like that, just highlight that amount of information. And the first screen you highlighted, the first cell is white, okay? Just to remind you about that. Click on the Insert tab, and not recommended charts, not pivot, anything in the middle here. Just pick a chart, and there it is. You want to slide it over. If you decide you want to put it into its own chart page, you're under Chart Tools, Design, Format. If for some reason you clicked on Format, you don't see it, go back to clicking on Design. There's Move Chart. Change it to a new sheet. There you go. You can change colors, you can switch row and column, change the chart type from here. You can change colors from here. Quick layout, play with different layouts. which shows you the legend to the right, to the bottom. There's a lot of things here you can change. Okay. So that's all I'm really going to show you for chart. Well, let's see, you could play with a little color. There, that's word art. That doesn't look too good, but there you go. Shape fill. Okay, if you want to get really pretty. All right, let's move back to sheet tab 1. Okay, and look at this some more. Yeah. Let's say you want to insert rows or you want to insert columns. Now be careful, if you're inserting just a little cell, it might throw everything else off, okay? So let's do columns first. You're going to click on the H, the down facing arrow, with the H. And actually, before you do that, just notice we don't want 6-month budget anymore. Click on the 1 and just say delete, and the delete's right up here. Okay. There we go. Now, click on that H, and you're going to insert the down facing arrow, insert a sheet column. Okay. You could type July, or you could just go like this, drag that. Now, let's see what happens if I try to copy these numbers. Let's see if it works. Now, you see what happened? It thinks you made a boo-boo right here. So that's not going to work. You're going to have to type the numbers fresh because it was taking everything from G to H and it freaked out the total. If you just put in fresh numbers, it recalculates. See? Also, if we practice deleting the column first and then adding it back in, the whole auto sum thing might be a little thrown off. It wouldn't say that it was going to H or G or what have you. So if we type everything in fresh, it works. Now here you do have to pull the auto sum. There we go. It recalculated everything. Now what if you want to add something in here? To insert a sheet row. Throw in some number. Now you hit the tab key, moves you one cell at a time. Recalculates. Nice, huh? Now what if you want to delete these rows? The H, the down arrow, delete sheet column. 8, delete sheet row. Now we're back to where we started from. So that's inserting and deleting columns and rows. Okay. Now let's go to sheet tab 2. We want a blank sheet tab. What if you have a whole phrase that you're trying to put into a column heading or a row heading and it just takes up too much space? So you want to shrink it down a little bit, like have a few words on each line. That's called wrapping text. So let's practice with a few things. Typing class or typing books. Where this phrase came from. Put in whatever you'd like. There's another phrase. Here's the other one. So, if you were to resize this, watch this, the double click between the A and the B, way too large, not going to work. So let's shrink it down to only a few words, like that, okay? Now where's merge? No, it's above merge and center, it's wrap text, okay? There you go. Now let's say you want to play with the alignment. To the immediate left of wrap text, down facing arrow for the AB, and go counterclockwise, clockwise. I don't know why anybody would do vertical text, but there you go. Text up. This could be helpful if you have like a very long word, let's say it's ibuprofen or just some long 10-letter word, what have you, and you only want to put a single digit number or 2-digit. Have the word going straight up so it doesn't take up so much space going left to right. Just a thought. Rotate text down. Oh, you have to be clicked in. By the way, when I clicked away, always very important, make sure you're clicked into the cell that you're playing with. If you come down here to this arrow, you can see more choices. Watch this. We changed it. Okay. That was this down-facing arrow, this southeast to your alignment settings. There's font. More choices here we go. Font. What else do you have? Number. But again, it's just more choices than what you're seeing on the ribbon bar. Okay. Let's save this. I'm going to minimize it. And now let's go back to the internet and call up Basic Excel Practice. Open that up. See, you can't see it. Not to panic, it's there. This happens in the live classes all the time. There it is, it's hiding down here. Enable editing, file, save as, desktop, whatever name you'd like for it to have. Go to Sheet tab 2. What I'm going to show here is sorting. Now sorting, you don't want to just do plain old simple sort A to Z or 1 to 10. You may be sorting one column or one row and not taking all the other information with it, and that's going to mess you up. I'd rather do a custom sort. So first let's get rid of columns B and D. Just click on that, delete, click on C, delete. And let's fill in the rest of the months like that. Okay. Let's put in different first names, same last names for 2 of them. Let's say you're looking at the fiction books in the library. It's a 3-way sort. The first is by last name. Danielle Steele is going to show up before Robert Steele, okay? But then if you're talking about books, so first is Danielle Steele books, and now they're also in order by title. So Duels is going to come before the book called Spot. Okay, so it's a similar thing here. We want to search first by last name, then by first name. So that's only a 2-way sort. What I just described in the library is 3-way sort. Last name, first name, then title of their books. So let's choose Brown, but Robert. And let's choose Smith, first name. In case any of you are curious, 1500 is the Will branch, One Larkin Center is the Riverfront branch. Okay. So we want to do the sort and filter. You can highlight everything except the actual title above, which says example, month, etc. The down facing arrow for auto, for the sort and filter, it's to the right of auto sum. Do custom sort. It already likes the first choice being last name. Works for me. Let's do add a level. Remember, you can add in as many levels as you need. I mean, maybe you're breaking it down by city and then person's last name, then the person's first name, or by street, lots of different things. So it changed the order. See, Charlie Brown came before Robert Brown, Andrea Smith came before John Smith. That is sorting. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the first document. Save, you can minimize this. I'll call up the other document. 6-month budget. Come on. Having a little difficulty calling up my 6-month budget. All right, I'm going to close that. There we go. I called it up from the main screen as opposed to sitting on the taskbar. All right, let's go back to this first one. Just a quick little thing about numbers. Remember how in Excel 1, I said I just picked the dollar sign, reduce the decimal points? There's more choices. The down-facing arrow for the dollar sign, look at that. English pound sterling, the euro, or what have you, comes up. And then right above it, there's all these different choices. Just to let you know, there's more than what you see right on the screen. Let's back out a little bit. All right, the next thing we're going to do is let's get rid of the totals because we're going to add in more rows and I don't want to deal with totals right now. Let's get rid of that. Let's say you have a chart that goes all the way to December and it doesn't look like December quite fits when you try to print it. There's a workaround. So let's come up to December, size some of these. The easy way is to copy and paste like that. Okay. Let's go to print. File, print. Looks like only August fits, right? Let's just go back. I haven't actually printed. I wanted you to see the dotted line. See? Oh no, it's not going to fit. Oh, what's another choice? File, print. Let's change it to landscape. See if that makes it fit. Nope, still only goes to November. There happens to also be normal margins changing that, but you don't want to make that too small. Right below that, it says no scaling. Guess what? Down-facing arrow, choose fit sheet on one page. Now it does shrink the text down a little bit. So if this was a little bit, if you had even more to shrink down, you won't be able to read it unless you have x-ray vision. So just be aware that could happen. All right. One other quick little thing I wanted to show you. This was from the other class, page layout. Print for grid lines, that's off to the right here. See how I put they printed the grid lines? What if you want something fancier? It's a word feature where you go like this, be on your home tab. To the left of the fill color, there's thick box border. Let's say I put a line under here. Okay. See that bottom line and a thick box border? If you go to print, it will all appear. Just in case you wanted to play around with that. If I highlight everything, no border, took it all away. Okay, so the next thing is, you know those lovely Metro North train schedules that are huge? You're trying to work your way down your station, the time it arrives or leaves, and you're folding it every which way. You just have trouble seeing it. Well, on this computer, wouldn't it be nice if you could scroll to the right or left and right? What if this was really huge and you want to see the column headings or the row headings? You can scroll. You call it freezing panes. You could freeze the column or you could freeze the row headings or freeze both. Okay? So first we want to add in a bunch more information. Right down here, this is at 100%. Right down towards the right. Shrink it a little bit more. I'm going to copy and paste to get more information. And that's probably good enough. Let's escape. And then, nope, let's do it this way. Copy, paste, paste. Okay, so you may want to spend a few moments doing that. So we have a ton of information here. How are we going to possibly look? Maybe you have this huge employee list and you're trying to correlate and you can't see it very well. All right, so the first step we're going to try is go on your View tab. This down-facing arrow under Freeze Panes. Again, look everywhere. Here we go. Freeze the top row. Look at that, there's a line. See, scroll wheel. Let's do Unfreeze Panes. And now you want to freeze the first column. Here's the line. Scroll wheel's not going to work. There's this scroll thing over here. Nope. You have to hit this arrow thing towards the right. And there you go. Arrow thing to the left. What if you want to do both at the same time? Down facing arrow, unfreeze panes. Very important, your mouse needs to go to B2. It needs to know where the lines are going. So it's going to go right above that number or below where it says January, February, March, all the headings. And the line will go to the left of all those numbers so that the row headings are all there. Okay, so the down facing arrow, freeze panes. Just click on freeze panes. You probably could have just clicked on the icon. I always show from the down facing arrow. See the lines? Go that way, and you can go this way. All right. That's that. I wanted to show you. I don't have totals. I want to put totals back in. Auto sum. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. There we go. In a second. All right, let's get rid of, let's unfreeze the panes first off. Let's go back to the View tab. Unfreeze. Okay, that totals. There's a method to my madness, okay? I want to show you, just like in a regular class, I cannot type and talk at the same time. There, auto sum there. Just drag it that far, that's good enough. Okay. Click on the Formula tab. That's another way to see the formulas. I mean, this is, if you click here, you can see the formula, but you have to go one at a time. What if you wanted to see this formula in all of them? Click on Show Formulas. You can see it now for every single cell that has a formula. Just a very quick way to do that. And just click on that, make that go away again. Okay, so that is that. This is called relative formula, by the way. I'm not going to go into it in this class. I'm just going to give a shout out that these two other things are available. Absolute versus relative formula. We could spend it in 2 hours on this. I mean, the Wilbrands did once many years ago. These are relative formulas because all things being equal, we're adding that column, adding that column, adding that column. If you're talking about an absolute formula, that means you want to take this formula and put it here and maybe multiply it by 2 or what have you. If you're doing like sales figures or what have you, you're trying to add sales tax, you want to refer back to that number. So I'm just going to give a little shout out. This is a regular formula is in A1. What if A1 had a formula and it was absolute? That's how it shows up when it's all done. That means that A1, wherever you are anywhere else, you're referring to that formula. If I type this right here, and if there was a formula, it would appear there. You can have mixed. You can have something like this. I just wanted to give you a taste of something you may want to look into. What's another one? We're also not going over VLOOKUP, and we're also not going over pivot tables. So there is the GCF Learn Free website from our page. But this is just to give you a little inkling, a little taste of what's out there in Excel. And then the other thing that I never get to when I teach a class, because everyone's mind has been blown by then, is cell referencing. Cell referencing is when you want to refer, like you have a formula on sheet 1, You have a formula on sheet 2, and you want to put it into sheet 3. So a cell reference equals, let's say we're grabbing a formula that was on sheet 1. It was an H10 plus sheet 2, and this one happened to be an H12. What's really interesting is it came up with a number. So there must have been a number in H10 on sheet 1 and a number on sheet 2 at H12, or it could have been a 0. Very interesting. Let's go to sheet 1. Let's go to H10. H10, there was the number 165. And 0, because nothing was in H12 there. But see how I pulled that in? All right. Well, hopefully this gets you to wanting to learn more about Excel. It's been nice. Let's stop sharing. Just see me. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.